Hey there, I'm Aggie, and I have a bunch of unpopular Subnautica opinions, so I thought, why not make a video on them and get a bunch of hate comments? Alright, again, these are all my opinions, and if you don't agree, let me know in the comments, but be nice. I think isolation isn't everything. When talking about the Subnautica multiplayer mod, for example, I have seen so many people saying that it would ruin the feeling of isolation that Subnautica has. Well, yes, of course you wouldn't feel isolated anymore, but I don't think that's a big deal. After the first or second playthrough, you probably have explored everything there is to explore already, so I mean, why not go for a completely different experience? Subnautica has way more it can provide than just isolation. And come on, Seamoth races with your friends sounds super fun. Next up, I don't like the prawn suit. I'm not sure why exactly, but I definitely don't enjoy using it in the game. I would much rather use the Cyclops or Seamoth, because it's so much easier to get around with them. The prawn suit moves awkwardly and really slow, and if you don't have the grapple arm, it's really easy to get stuck in a deeper biome. I mean, yeah, it's useful for drilling resources, but I never really did that anyways. Oh yeah, I also think Below Zero is much better than the original Subnautica. I know, go unsubscribe. I mean what? I feel like only very few people think like this, but Below Zero improves on almost every single aspect of the original game. There's so much, I'm just gonna list the stuff I think they did better in Below Zero. Map detail, animation quality, creature depth, so how much stuff creatures actually do instead of just swimming around, weather, base building, voice acting, a more direct story, ambience, music, balance, for example crafting recipes, an ending that has so much more potential and is still one of the best game endings I know, and more. I just have had a much better time with Below Zero, and I feel like it objectively is better than the original game. It might lack in a few areas, some people might not like the story, but I really enjoyed it. This next one also kinda has to do with Below Zero. I really enjoyed the sea truck. At first I didn't really like it, but it definitely grew on me. I think it's the perfect mix of Seamoth and Cyclops, small but customizable, fast, but if you make it too big, it gets slower. Plus, since the map is tighter and has a lot more cave biomes, I don't think the Cyclops would have fit in Below Zero. Next, unpopular opinion. I don't think Below Zero features should be added to Subnautica. People often ask for stuff like base customization, the new base pieces, weather, or some of the new items to be added to Subnautica. I don't think that should happen. Yes, it would be cool to have it in Subnautica, but Below Zero is newer and should be the one being supported. Like they're doing with the probably new moon pool. If you haven't seen that, check it out in the top right. I'm pretty sure they're adding a new moon pool to Below Zero. I think new stuff should be added to Below Zero, not Subnautica. Of course, not without exception, but I think Below Zero should be the focus. I'm not actually sure if this is an unpopular opinion, but I've heard a bunch of people say that Leviathans are boring, and for example, mods that add a bunch of smaller fish are way better than mods that add 1 or 2 Leviathans. I have to disagree. Leviathans are basically the most interesting thing about Subnautica for me. Smaller fish, well, they really just exist, and even if they have some cool abilities, they're not really a threat to you. But Leviathans, you can't do anything once they find you, and for some reason, I just think that's way more fun. Also makes for better content, of course. So maybe that's just the YouTuber speaking. And last but not least, most people seem to want a Subnautica 3. I think DLCs for Below Zero or maybe even Subnautica would be much better. We could get new biomes, new creatures, new vehicles, new technologies, new base pieces. There's so much potential for Subnautica DLCs. For example, we could have a DLC called Call of the Void. Okay, that's maybe a little cheesy, but you get what I mean. This DLC would add underwater floating islands in the void at different depths and going further and further away from shore. The first islands are reachable with your Cyclops, if you're careful to avoid Ghost Leviathans, of course. You might even get a few upgrades for your Cyclops to help. On them, you would find a new resource that allows you to craft a new vehicle, the Hydra. This submarine is smaller than the Cyclops, larger than the Seamoth, but still lets you build in it. It would have a camouflage module and maybe even some other cool modules you could craft with new resources. And it would go much deeper than the Cyclops, allowing you to reach further islands. There, you could find more rare resources and upgrade your submarine to discover precursor facilities, story, and of course, go even deeper. And eventually, you might be too deep, and if you're not careful, one of the two Leviathans in the deepest depths of Subnautica might just get to you. This is something I came up with, and if you'd like to see an entire video on this concept, make sure to like this video and let me know in the comments. But that was it. What are some of your unpopular Subnautica opinions? Let me know in the comments down below and share this video with your friends. If you'd like to support me, I have merch and a Patreon. Talking about Patreon, huge thanks to my Aki Code leaders, Callum Wally, Capital Clyde, Jeff the Sea Dragon, Just Archeo, and Morgan Panda. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye!